Good evening, everyone. Hope I am audible to all.
Excuse me, sir. So this is a live session. So people are there watching you on Instagram and YouTube. So you can start.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you for the conformity. All right, dear all, welcome to Pro Training. Today we are having a live question and answer session regarding AutoCAD and Revit. You all know already what is AutoCAD and what is the software it is. Today we are going to discuss very briefly about the AutoCAD in depth and what are the benefits of is and what are the different subjects where we can utilize this software, especially for civil engineers. Okay, so before jumping into the subject, why a civil engineer should study or should know or should practice the use of AutoCAD software, we will try to understand what is civil engineer first, what a civil engineer does. In brief, civil engineering is a professional engineering discipline that deals with the design, construction, and maintenance of artificially built structures or the environment, and even sometimes a naturally built environment. Say for example, roads, bridges, canals, dams, rivers, sewage systems, pipelines, some buildings, infrastructure buildings, and even the components of buildings. This all comes under the artificially built, means the man built environment. Whereas naturally built or something like that, contour profiles, terrains, and some rivers, and even studying about the sea beaches. All this comes under the naturally built environment. You will be quite a bit interested to know this is civil engineering. Okay, this civil engineering subject is considered as the second oldest civil engineering subject. Do you know which is the oldest first civil engineering subject then? That is nothing but the military engineering. After the military engineering, civil engineering is considered as the second oldest engineering subject. Okay. After this, we will go to the subject in depth. Before that, we will try to understand what is AutoCAD. Okay. AutoCAD is nothing but the prolonged version or the full form of AutoCAD is calculated as something as said as automated computer aided designing. Some of the engineers also treat it as computer aided drafting, and some others also both combined together they say it as computer aided design and drafting also. To be very precise, the first release of AutoCAD, was established in December 1982 by a company Autodesk. And the people who are back to this software, who given this very precious software to all civil engineers, is Mr. John Walker. He worked along with other 12 co-founders and invented this beautiful software, and he gifted this software to all of us. Now, one by one, we will try to discuss what are the benefits or what are the essential things or the what we say the help we are going to get from using the AutoCAD for especially civil engineers. The first portion comes to the design and drafting efficiency. When it comes to a civil engineering subject, a civil engineer should be capable of assuming the things, dreaming the things before he go for construction. Means that everything will start from the designing, the assumption, the visualization power, and then he will start writing it on to the paper, which is called as a drafting. Okay, in traditional methods, in traditional olden days, how the engineers are going to draft this is by on the paper, by using some mini draft or by set squares, some scales, some protractors, using compass, etc., etc. But this AutoCAD allows a civil engineer to create a detailed drawing in terms of what? In terms of 2D as well as the three-dimensional drawings also. He can draw a structures, a plans, a layout, a sections, everything he can do by using the AutoCAD software. This software enhances the efficiency of a design and drafting process. By what? By reducing the time. If you go for the traditional method, the time requirement is much more, whereas by using the AutoCAD, much faster we can do a drafting and designing. And also please remember, by using the AutoCAD software we can go in a very precise and the professional drawing systems also. The second benefit what we are going to get is the visualization and simulation. As I already said, every engineer should have a visualization power. This AutoCAD enables engineers to visualize their design in a three-dimensional space. Okay, in a three-dimensional spaces also. If we do it on a drawing, it will be very difficult for us to make it in a isometric or into the 3D or into the say something like a 2D wire structure or 3D wire surfaces. It is very difficult for us, a common person or human being, to draw it. Whereas AutoCAD will helps us much more faster. We can visualize the things in a solid or in a wireframe structures or something like that. Okay, it also provides a better understanding how the components are fit together in a very precise manner up to the in certain cases we also go beyond that, very lesser units also, say microns and mils also, whereas AutoCAD also enables us say something like a 1.000 or 000 decimal points, we can go ahead and again to the mils and again to the microns also if it is necessary, right? And how where I was, the fitting together. Okay, all the components can be fit together and we can visualize the things. The final structure will appear. How the final structure is going to be happen, or how we are going to construct it on the ground, we can visualize it before the construction itself. Okay, this will help us to identify what are the problems are there in the design or the drawing stage itself, and we can also go for the improvement before the construction itself, right? This is how the benefit from visualizing and simulations also. The third will comes to the precise and accuracy. Okay, as I was explaining you, there are you can do the drawings in a metric systems, and we can go for the triple decimal system. If you want a centimeter, if you want a millimeter also, we can draw it very precisely and very accurately also, and it also saves the time. Precise and accuracy, it not only in drafting and designing, but also we can mention the measurements, the dimensions, and annotations can also be done in a soft copy, as well as we can take out the printout also. By this, uh, every people working, every team members of the project, say it may be an engineer, say it may be a contractor, say it may be a subcontractor, everyone can look into the measurements, dimensions, and annotations, and he can build accordingly without any error. Okay, and this helps to build a structure to the specific standards, right? The fourth point, what is that? Collaboration and communication. Okay, if we have anything on the piece of paper, it is very different, it is very different, as well as it is very difficult in collaborating and communicating to the n number of team members in a project. A project is always consist of many people. Say the engineers team will be there, architect team will be there, main contractor will be there, consultant will be there. There are so many stakeholders will be there. But once we draw or design or draft anything in AutoCAD, it is very easy to share the files. We can very speedily communicate effectively through the software itself, and this will streamline the design and the construction process from start to an end also. All right, then comes to the documentation and record keeping. AutoCAD provides a comprehensive platform for documentation for an engineer, and it can be created a detailed drawing that serves as an essential records throughout the project lifetime. Okay, once everything is completed, design and drafting is completed, finalized, the same drawing can be used as a good for construction drawings. Once the construction is finished, then the same thing can be maintained for the regulatory compliances, quality control, and the future reference as a as-built drawings also. In case of any modifications, or if we want to find out what are the elements, where in the buildings it is, then we can easily refer the drawings and start working on it. That's how the documentation and record keepings also comes into the picture. And it will, AutoCAD is the software which it is going to be very useful. Next comes the integration with the other software. It is not possible to use only one software throughout the project, or to finish the project by using the only one software. All right. Even though the AutoCAD is very important software for a civil engineer, there are some other software also comes into the picture when we start working in a projects at different levels, at different stages. We have to use several softwares. So this AutoCAD software, okay, this AutoCAD software will allow us to import and export the details from other softwares also. Say for example, if we want to go for a structural analysis, then this AutoCAD drawing software can be given to some other software platforms also. And this is how the integration enhances the overall design and the project management also for each and every individual team members, as well as the civil engineers in the project. Next is the adaptation to the industry standards. AutoCAD is widely used in engineering and construction industry. Nowadays, each and every high level consultant is also using the AutoCAD software. Even the contractors are also using. So it is become very easy to adopt. All right. So learning AutoCAD ensures that a civil engineer or well versed in that tool is often considered a standard in the field. Okay. So to become a familiarized and to get the beneficial of all the collaborating with other professional or transiting between the projects and the organization, it is very essential to use AutoCAD so that we can adopt to each and every industry standards. All right. Then it comes to the cost setting, cost savings. Okay. Once, suppose you assume the things that we are going to construct something, and finally we came to know there are some errors are there, then what we are going to do, we have to modify it, we have to damage it, we have to rebuild it once again. But the AutoCAD software, while since we are going to make the drawings before the construction itself, it will helps us to avoid modifications again and again during the construction itself. That's how it will save our costings. Okay. So the studying of AutoCAD software will help a civil engineer to become a more versatile, and it's something like a very powerful tool that enhances the efficiency, precision, and collaboration, communication throughout the design and the construction process till the project lifetime. Okay. It has become nowadays something like an integral part of a modern engineering throughout the workflow. So it is very essential for all the civil engineer for to become very competitive in the field of construction by learning the AutoCAD software or by practicing the AutoCAD software. In the beginning, I explained you what is civil engineer. Okay, civil engineering is not only limited for the construction, planning, and maintenance of buildings. It is also subdivided into many more branches. Say, for example, what are those branches are? Okay, let us see one by one and try to understand whether this AutoCAD is going to help there also or not. First comes the structural analysis and design. In the previous slide itself, I have explained how the AutoCAD is going to support to other softwares. Suppose we have done some drawings and designing part, we need to analyze whether the structure is stability to the other natural or some other effects, environmental effect also. So we have to analyze the structure, other components of a building, say it's a bridge or some other infrastructure by using the AutoCAD. Then this software is going to help us to import the drawing or to export the drawing to each of the platforms and different softwares also. Okay, and then the another engineering is very important is the transportation engineering. Okay, when it comes to the transportation engineering, AutoCAD helps in planning, in designing the transportation systems, say for example roads, highways, railways, metro, something like that. How it is going to help us? We can fix the alignments. Okay, we can fix the cross sections, we can go for the longitudinal sections, we can design or we can draw the curves, the sections including the drains, each and everything, all the components can be designed and drafted by using the AutoCAD software. Okay, when it comes to the geotechnical engineering, say for example site plans, foundation details, and other aspects which are related to the soil, and the foundation engineering is termed as a geotechnical engineering. In that field also AutoCAD will play a very vital role. Okay, now the environmental engineering. Environmental engineering means something like a what we call it as a water treatment plants, other infrastructure, something like which are something designing and planning in consideration with the environmental considerations. Those infrastructures are those projects we comes under the environmental engineering systems. All right. Then again, irrigation and wastewater management engineering. Okay, these are something like dams, reservoirs, water distribution channels, sewage treatments, sewage pipelines. All this can also be designed and drafted by using the AutoCAD software itself. Okay, and as you already know, the construction management, only by designing and drafting we are not going to complete the project. When it comes to the construction management, say for example construction management comes in the software by using Primavera MS projects also. Okay, for those they require the data also. So for them, the use of AutoCAD will provide the data in managing the entire construction as a project, as a construction management system. They can visualize all the construction process and they can start coordinating each and every activities very effectively. This drawing, the AutoCAD will provide with the drawings, project schedules, and site plans also. From this, they can plan the individual activities, which comes first, which comes parallel, which can go start to end or start to start. All this kind of plannings can be done in the construction management by the help of AutoCAD software, by the use of AutoCAD drawings. All right. When it comes to the urban planning and designing, AutoCAD is also used in urban planning. Say for example, designing a city and something like setting out the new developments plans, or what we call it as a layout designing. All this comes under urban planning and designing. All right. Then when it comes to surveying and mapping, okay, you are already very familiar with the land surveying. This is also very a big subject in a very big as well as the important subject in civil engineering. Nowadays people are using total stations and GIS. Okay, after they do the surveying, they will give the data. From that data we can implement the drawings. Okay, we can implement site survey drawings, site plans, and even the contour maps. Okay, we can fix out the alignments, we can know the azimuths or the levels where it is going on, where the cuttings will be there, where the fillings will be there, how to design what we call equilibrium kind of a cross section, or the longitudinal sections can be done. Even mapping from the AutoCAD drawing itself, AutoCAD drawing, we can use the same drawing in other platforms. Say example map info. From the map info, that drawing will go to the ArcGIS. From that GIS we can use the road maps or something. Nowadays people are very familiar, very uses in Google Maps. All these maps are done by using the software ArcGIS, which the data get from the map info, and for the map info the data has been provided from the AutoCAD software itself. So AutoCAD software is something like a very primary software up to certain extent also. All right. Then when it comes to the material takeoff, okay, material takeoff, before we start any kind of a construction activities, we need to plan the 3Ms, okay, the material, man required, and the machinery is required, along with the time schedules. All this can be possible by calculating the materials from the drawings. This is nothing but a quantity surveying. All right. So by the calculation of all the quantities, we will arrive a BOQ. BOQ is nothing but a bill of quantity. By the help of BOQ, we'll finally get the cost of a project. And looking to the budget, we'll negotiate with the vendors, we'll purchase, we'll procure the materials, we'll start the project, and the project will go on. All right. Finally, learning AutoCAD is considered as a essential for all civil engineer students, and I wish everyone should prepare themselves for the practical aspects of their professional life. There is one more slide I kept here to explain you about one more software which is called as a Revit. Many people already know about this Revit, I think. Okay, this is also another kind of a software which has been published by Autodesk in 2000. Okay, this is the advanced version of a drawing, we can say a drawing tool or the drawing instrument or the drawing software. All right. The word Revit, what is the full form? If you ask me, we can tell it as something like a revise instantly. For example, when we start working in AutoCAD, okay, if you want to modify anything, it's a quite big decision, it's a time taking thing. For example, we have a set of plans ready, and from that we have made a 3D, and from that we have got some sections. Okay, for example, we'll consider a plan and a section. All right. If we do any changes in a plan in AutoCAD, does this changes will happen automatically in a section of the drawing? No, it won't happen. But if the same drawing has done in a Revit, that's in plan, if we modify it, what will happen? The section will also automatically get modified. Let us explain me in a very brief manner what are the features, what AutoCAD helps us, and how the Revit helps us. Okay, before going to that, Revit is a software we can use the drawing done by the AutoCAD as a base, as a foundation. We will take it to the Revit, we will work more on the Revit, we will revise as ever we want, we will add some more information into it, and we will provide it in a BIM. What is BIM? Building Information Modeling. All right. Okay. The purpose, AutoCAD can be used in a drafting, in a 2D, or in a 3D sections. Whereas Revit is something like a very realistic kind of a manner when it comes to the appearance. We will come later also on that, but I will try to explain you. Other than the 2D, say if you consider a line, okay, line will have properties of what? A layer will be there, all right, a length will be there, and if possible, there will be some kind of a thickness. But the same thing when we draw it in a Revit, okay, the same thing, if you draw it in a Revit, it will be something like indicates the wall, the quantity, what is that wall made up of. It may be a brick, it may be a concrete, it may be something like a built with a drywall system is nothing but a plywoods or gypsum board, something like that. Okay, and even it will include all the specifications in it. It is something like a fully packed information of entire buildings and including the single components also. All right. So modeling approach. AutoCAD is considered as a 3D modeling with the lines and shapes. In respect to the Revit, the AutoCAD modeling is considered as very traditional. Why? In Revit, we have a parametric modeling with all the components included in it. We will have much more clarity in terms of specification, in terms of rates, in terms of who is the manufacturer, who is the vendor, who is the installer, who is the applicator. Everything can be mentioned in the modeling approach of the Revit. Okay. When it comes to the integration part, it is AutoCAD is almost compatible with different file formats. All right. Whereas in Revit, it is much more emphasizes collaboration and coordination. Okay. The file formats, Revit can be, uses some different formats also. It's not only DWG, DNG, PDF files, even the images can also be utilized. Some videos can also be embedded in the building, sorry, BIM itself, which can be get from the Revit platform itself. Okay. Data and information. In AutoCAD, we will just have a primary graphical as well as very limited data we can provide. Okay. If we take the printout of any kind of AutoCAD drawings, we will have some measurements, annotations, colors, something like that. Whereas BIM is something like a soft copy, okay, which includes everything. In AutoCAD, you people have already, if you are using and familiar with AutoCAD, you will be noticing that if we click any entity and if you go for the properties, there will be a limited all there. If you compare to the Revit software, say 5 times, 10 times more details we can fill into the Revit software for a single entity also. All right. Phases of project. AutoCAD is prepared at the early stage itself. Okay. And the design drafting stages are very limited. Whereas Revit is not like that. If any modification can be done, it can be drafted at the design stage, ongoing stage, and even at the finishing for the maintenance purpose. So the phases, when the Revit can be drawn or designed or drafted is not so important, because it can be revised at any time we want. Clear. Learning curve. AutoCAD is quite a bit easier to learn when it compares to the Revit. Since Revit is going to consist of each and every single component details, it is takes a steeper learning process. All right. Industry adaptation. Yes, widely used across all kind of engineerings. When it comes to the Revit, it is commonly used in nowadays. For the time being, it is used by architectures and some high-end building designers. Maybe in coming years, both AutoCAD and Revit will be used by all together everyone's. Okay. And collaboration, yeah, collaboration in AutoCAD, it is possible, but it is quite a bit little difficult to integrate with everyone. Okay. And whereas in BIM, it is something like a real-time collaboration with multiple disciplines. We can change, we can adapt, we can modify very instantly. Okay. That's why revise instantly. The name itself is a revise instantly. Consistency. In AutoCAD, the drawings, the designs, what we do, we need to update manually. Whereas in Revit, if you modify a single thing, it will get automated across all the components related to it. All right. Then it comes to the file interpretability. Okay. Importing and exporting is versatile in AutoCAD, not an issue. Since it is Revit is going to be used in BIM platform, so it is specifically limited for some formats just for the collaboration purposes. Okay. Cost estimation is a limited capabilities for the cost estimation. Sometimes we have to manually calculate it by having three dimensions, say length, width, height, or depth, thickness, something like that. Or in AutoCAD, we can use some additional Lisp. We can utilize for the estimation purpose. Whereas in Revit, it is not like that. It is automatically built you and support in cost estimation also. All right. So today we have discussed about the AutoCAD and Revit in a brief manner. In upcoming days, we will also try to arrange more question and answer regarding Primavera as well as MS project. And even in upcoming days we will take up the subject or the open online question and answer session regarding a civil engineering standards, which is going to be a very lengthy one, but we will try to make it out. Now any question and answers are there, we will I can going to take it up. We can go for the next.
So the questions have been dropped in the chat box. If you can just check one.
Yeah, just a moment. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. Arakshananda. Limitations of AutoCAD. All right. Okay. That's why in this session, I have compared with the AutoCAD as well as the Revit software. So once you know about the Revit system or the Revit software, you will come to know what are the limitations in AutoCAD. For example, in AutoCAD, if you want to build a wall, okay, a single small entity I'm considering it. If you want to build a wall, how you will going to do it? You will have some rectangle shapes or two polylines, which is a closed one. You can go for a press pull command or extrude command. Clear? Then you will have a wall system. You can name it as, or you can rename the layer as a brick wall or construction wall, something like that. Now you will have a one entity which can be called as a wall. If you want to convert it to the realistic view, then what we are going to do, we are going to do it for a rendering. A rendering is a very something like a difficult task when it comes to the Revit software. Okay, so the same thing, if you go for a Revit, how it is going to work. Okay, here in Revit also we will draw only a rectangle. Okay, along with that automatically the height will comes once we stretch the ground level as well as the top level. All right, then before the clicking of that line, instead of going for a rectangle or p line or line in Revit, what we will do, we will describe the entity itself. For example, you are going to draw a wall where it may be an internal wall or it may be an external wall. Case number one, we will consider it as a external wall. What the components will come together? There will be a wall. Okay, there will be a punning or wall putty at the internal side, and after that internal wall coating will come. All right, whereas when it comes to the external side of the same wall, you will have a plastering and then external facade system or external paint. All this together in a one command or in a one line, it will comes up. And when it go for a perspective or 3D or isometric view in Revit, you will have a absolute color, appearance, texture, everything. Whereas in AutoCAD, you have to give separately each and everything. This is how it works. And the essential part, uh, when we are going to draw something, a plan, before in this session itself, I try to expand it. How we are going to implement it in AutoCAD means we will have a first a plan, okay, and then we will extrude it or press pull it to make it a 3D. Wherever we want, we are going to slice it or section it. All right, if you want to do some modification, say example, in the wall there is a door and we want to move that door to 1 meter, left or right, consider, assume. How we are going to do, we will come back to the plan, we will change that. Wherever the openings are there, we have to fill it. Wherever the openings are not there, we have to subtract that. All right, all these things has to be done in AutoCAD. Whereas in Revit, just move the door entity, everything will get automatically updated in all the views, in all the sections, in plan, automatically. So these are some, just try to explain only two limitations. Hope I answer your question, Akshayananda. Um, okay. What is the difference between a Primavera P6 professional and Primavera P6 web? See, in earlier days, the Primavera P3 will be there, okay, and after that it comes to the 6. The other dimensions has been used: import, export, adaptation, compatibility has been increased in P6. When it comes to the P6 web, it is directly online platform. This is what till now I can explain it. All right, then how do you import a CAD file into the Revit? There is an import option is there. You can directly import it, and in import also there are two different methods are there. Means a straight link can be done, or just insert it, redraw it, and you can word. Okay. Once if you do any modification in AutoCAD, if you directly link that by in the option itself, there will comes a two method, directly link to the software, the file into the Revit software. And another one is there is no any link. Once you insert that file, that's it. If you go with the link in the import option itself, if you change the drawing in AutoCAD and save it, that will get automatically modified into the Revit also. Clear? And what are the skills that can AutoCAD professional needs? What are the skills that an AutoCAD professional needs? What are the important skills that the candidate will need to be selected? Oh my God. See, if you are a AutoCAD professional, definitely you have finished your engineering. It may be a civil engineering, or sometimes even mechanical engineers also does it. If you are very strong in basics of civil engineering or the mechanical engineering, that's more than enough. And now, what are the skills that the candidate will need to be selected? See, AutoCAD is a software which is full of tools. Okay, you have the tools, but you should know which tool should be used for which purpose. Then only you will be very precise, you will be very accurate, and will be quite a bit faster in what you are drafting or in what you are designing. Okay, so you need to practice, practice, practice the AutoCAD, first thing. And the second thing, which is very much essential, is you must be a known person of that civil engineering or the mechanical engineering field. Clear? Hope we have answered everything. What are the functions of AutoCAD draftsman person? What are the functions of an AutoCAD draftsman person? Okay. See, AutoCAD, if we go step by step, the first will be a drafting, then the designing. Designing, don't consider it as something like a structural designing part. No, only the designing, something like a aesthetic look, creating some elevations, visualizing how does it comes to the end, all these things. These are the functions. And sometimes he may require to draw the 2D line, 2D pipelines also, so he must be efficient in isometric drawing ability. He should have, he should be well versed with what we call the visualization powers. Okay, uh, even sometimes the quantity calculation, say for example you are going with the land surveying data, then you are required, to calculate the cut fill quantities of earth. Okay, these are also the functions of AutoCAD draftsman person. There are, depending on what kind of job you are going to choose, the functions will be very different. That's why in this webinar itself I try to explain the different subdivisions, you can call it as the subdivisions of the civil engineering topics. Hope I've answered all the questions. Is there anything left out? Okay, why is AutoCAD very popular with engineers? See, AutoCAD is the only software till 2000 that can be used by the civil engineers or the engineers to make the drawing very precisely. Nowadays also you can use the online tools and some offline web applications to do the drawings, but they are not so accurate. You can go for what we call it as there are many things, many online things are there. Say the sketch is there, and oh, I'm not getting the name properly. 3D homes are there. Okay, these are the software which are not so accurate in doing any drawings. So this is quite a bit difficult. So AutoCAD is more popular in it. Okay, anything else? Where I am? Oh, where is my screen? Okay, any other questions? Any other questions? See, in BIM, there are many softwares can be used. It's not simply that AutoCAD or Revit. Uh, when we discuss about the BIM, that will be very authenticated. I think it's not a good platform, or right now it is not a time to speak about the BIM. In upcoming sessions, definitely we will touch about the BIM also. Okay, then we will come over it. What are the advantages of Revit over traditional CAD software? I have given a brief discussion about the comparison between the Revit as well as the AutoCAD. Any other questions? See, one more thing I want to explain you is AutoCAD is something like a drafting software, drafting and designing software. When it comes to the Revit, it is something like a we are going to do a drawing which is used by many more people. Okay, say for example, if you have a drawing, until and unless in that drawing you have mentioned that who is the what is the specification of that material. Suppose there is a concrete we have shown in a hatch. Okay, in AutoCAD we can show a concrete as an hatch style, and if someone click in the AutoCAD software, it will show it is a concrete by the layer name, or from some block identity or block name. We can change and give some attributes to it. It will show. Whereas in BIM software, it is not like that. Okay, while you click entity in a Revit software, okay, in a Revit software, you can feed all the data in it. Who is the manufacturer of that concrete, from which RMC we are going to bring it, what is the rate of it, okay, what is the consistency of it, everything we can mention it, whereas this is not possible in AutoCAD. Okay, Ripta wants to know what is the difference between project file and a family file. Okay, if I'm not wrong, you were asking about the Revit software by any chance, or in AutoCAD? Yeah, it is from a Revit. Okay, see, project file, suppose you are working for any kind of a project. Okay, say example ABCD is a project. You can create n number of Revit files individually and club them into the single project. By clubbing or by clubbing the project file, you are going to have each and every entity or the specification or the type of entity. Okay, you can collaborate each other. Whereas family file comes to the library sections or something like that. If we have something, say a paint family or a beams family, some concrete you are going to use. Concrete is a family. In that concrete, you will have a lean concrete, rich concrete, okay, something like this. Or say some paint family. Okay, paint, consider a paint is a family. In that paint, you can use the acrylic paint, we can use the cement polymer paint, we can use the paint which is internal side only can be used, and some paints which can be externally used. These are comes with the family. And one more example I can give you is say some furnitures infrastructures are going to be used in a building, inside the building. Okay, say suppose kitchenware items are different family, wood is a different family, like this it will comes up. Hope I answered your question. Who is this? What is this? Is remote work is possibility in BIM, especially considering Indian market? Remote work is also possible. Why not? It is possible. Yes, it is possible in BIM. Up to certain extent, you have to work on it and give the end file of it. Then they can use it. Yes, it can be used. Companies in site execution, management with QC, BBS, AutoCAD. Yes, it can be. It can be used. It can be used. No any issues at all. It can be used. What hardware requirements need to run a Primavera P6? Okay, Primavera P6. I didn't remember that configuration of that system to run a P6. It is better to Google it. Okay. Any other questions? I didn't remember that what are the hardware system requirements to run a Primavera. I'm sorry for that. I didn't remember it. It is better to Google. All right. All right. Hope I answered all the questions. Is there any questions left out by me? Any questions, please? How you felt about this meeting? How you felt about the webinar? I request you all, please comment in the LinkedIn and even in YouTube or Instagram, which is the topic we are going to, you are requesting us to do online sessions. That will be helpful for us also. We will plan accordingly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for your comments. So, can we call it as a day? Thank you, Akanksha. Thank you very much, Akanksha Nanda. Okay. Thank you very much.